Couple of quick things before this video starts. Firstly, shout out to Chivo for editing this video. He's done all of the most recent Beatles reactions and is going to be doing the rest of their discography, so I greatly appreciate it. Secondly, this reaction is taken from a good few months back from one of my viewer music submission live streams, hence the different background and the different hair. I've now heard every Beatles album as of when I'm recording this, so don't worry about telling me which one I need to get to next. I've already heard all of them. These music submission streams are every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 3 PM UK time, so make sure you stop by, send me some music, and say hi if that's something you're interested in. Another big thing that I want to talk about is this argument that I've seen in a lot of the comments of the most recent Beatles reactions, and that's that I'm not listening with the right mindset. I want to just quickly explain kind of how I go into albums like these, particularly with older albums like these Beatles ones here. When I'm listening to a Beatles album, the way I kind of form my opinion is through three criteria. How is it aged? How does it compare to other music at the time? And do I like the songs? These videos are not meant to be like objective criticisms of the Beatles. They really are just my opinion and my initial impressions of these songs the first time hearing them. So before you go into the comments and try and scathe me for having a different opinion, just know that these videos don't exist to try and put down any of these massive artists. It's just to create some conversation and discourse between me and the people watching the videos. I'm not trying to offend or upset anyone. I just want to share my opinion and then receive yours in response. And of course, like and sub and whatnot, all the usual stuff. We're trying to hit 2K. But yeah, besides that, enjoy the video. Let's get this album started. We got track 1, No Reply.
I came to your door, no reply.
I think copyright has gotten less strict after 2023 and their release of Now and Then and the Blue or Red album.
They said it wasn't you, but I saw
Maybe.
you peep through your window. I saw the light. I saw the light. I nearly died. I nearly died. In my place, if I were you, I'd realize that your door, I nearly died. I nearly died. No reply. No reply.
That was your opener to this album. Next track is one of your favorite Beatles songs of all time, such an underrated song. Anyway, No Reply. What a weak way to open this album. Unmemorable, kind of boring, nothing that really stands out. It just sort of feels like... It really is not setting a good example for this album. Normally, the openers to Beatles albums end up being pretty strong, but here... that is unfortunately not the case. I am feeling a high 5 on this song. Next up, I'm a Loser.
I'm a loser. I'm a loser. And I'm not what I appear to be. Of all the love I have won or have lost, she was a girl in a million, my friend. I should have known.
Songs
she
about
would
me.
win
Wow.
in the end. I'm a loser. I'm a loser. And I'm not what I appear to be. Although I laugh and I act like a clown, beneath this mask I am wearing a frown. Here to be.
You went along the frown line, clever. I'm not gonna like this album. This one's gonna be a tough listen. Yeah, these first two songs are not it. This harmonica bit is kind of nice, but yikes. I don't like this.
What have I done to deserve such a fate? I'm a loser, and I'm not what I appear to be.
Weak fade out. Oh my god. This album's gonna be a rough ride. Yeah, these first two songs are not it at all. Instrumentally, they feel so lifeless. The vocals, too, are just... You're saying John Lennon is depressed to the album? He sounds it, you know? Yeah. These first two tracks I'm really not feeling. Hopefully the album can pick itself up as the track list continues, but this isn't a very promising start. Feeling a low 5. Babies in Black. All of them retired, to be fair. They sound it, yeah.
She's dressed in black.
Why didn't they go to sleep? That's so true.
What can I do? Baby's in black and I'm feeling blue. Tell me, oh, what can I do? Till she sees the mistake she has made. Dear, what can I do? Baby's in black and I'm feeling blue. Tell me, oh, what can I do?
This one has some interesting writing, at least. That's bringing this up a little bit. I feel like the writing on this one is really strong. Maybe the singer actually went to sleep for once. Okay, best song so far, not by a lot. The rating is interesting, and that is the thing that definitely puts this a step above the first two. Still, though, instrumentally, I'm not getting anything out of this. It just feels like standard Beatles, minus all of the interesting elements, you know? It just feels like a skeleton of the Beatles, if that makes sense. Yeah, the song, it's in the green, but not by a lot. It's a flat 6. Rock and roll music.
Just let me hear some of that rock and roll music. Any old way you choose it. It's got a backbeat, you can't lose it.
Jesus Christ. Oh my god. It's terrible.
If you wanna dance with me, I took my love on over across the tracks.
I agree. Like, I'm not crazy on this, but this is a solid track. It's got a fun, bouncy instrumental. Yeah, that was the best song so far. I thought that was actually a good track. It's not great. I don't love it. Oh, it's a cover? Oh, I didn't even know that. Yeah, it had the strongest vocal performance so far. The instrumental was fun. It was lively. The song does definitely start to drag towards the final third or so, but honestly, I don't mind it that much because this song is like such a step up from the first three that it's insane. 7.3. Decent. I'll Follow the Sun.
One day you look to see I've gone, for tomorrow may rain, so I'll follow the sun.
Paul wrote the song when he was 16.
Know I was the one, and now the time has come, and so my love I must go. In the end you will know. Oh, one day tomorrow may rain.
I'm actually liking this one.
I'll follow the sun.
The simplicity of the instrumental with just how sweet the vocals are make it for a very nice combo. Yo, chat, I forgot. I got biscuits.
I'll follow the sun, but tomorrow may rain, so I'll follow the sun.
Best song so far, no competition. That song uses its simplicity in the best way possible. It's just acoustic guitar and a really, really strong vocal performance. And for that reason, it doesn't feel like it gets lost in like this generic classic rock and roll formula. It's able to actually like stand on its own and stand out amongst the entirety of this track list in a really satisfying way. Flat 8. Definitely the strongest so far. Mr. Moonlight.
You came to me, and from above you sent us love, and now she is mine. I think you're fine, 'cause we love
Worst
you.
Beatles songs run. We actually, those first 3 tracks, one of the worst 3-track runs on any Beatles album. Look at this. So my old house with my dog. You know, the album's really picking up with these past 3 tracks. Rock and roll music, I'll Follow the Sun, and Mr. Moonlight are massive step-ups. Steps up or step-ups? Massive step-ups. Massive steps up. I don't know. Basically, first 3 songs here. Second batch of 3 songs here. They're better. They are a step up in terms of writing. They are a step up in terms of how lively the instrumentals are, how memorable the instrumentals are, in terms of vocal performances as well. While I don't love this song, same as track 4, I think it's good. I think it's like such a strong step up from the first 3 that like it makes me wonder what happened, you know? It's like, why are the first 3 as weak as they are? It's a cover, that'll explain why the writing's better. I am feeling a low 7. Kansas City, Hey 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 melody. Did I say melody? I meant to say medley. It's probably the weakest Beatles album. Up to this point, I'm agreeing. Decent backing vocals, but man, this instrumental is, you know what I'm saying? Paul carrying with his vocals. Yeah, that was the only good thing about the song. The instrumental did nothing for me. The pacing of that song felt so awkward. Like I couldn't tell if it was too short or too long. It just, something felt off about the pacing of that track that I can't put my finger on. Not only that, the way the song progressed was just so uninteresting. This is unfortunately another step down after that good little 3-track run we had. Feeling a solid 5 on this. 8 days a week. Another Ringo Mannerism song. Oh, another Ringo Mannerism that the Beatles made into a song. 2023 mix? Alright, 2023 mix. One thing real quick. They did Ringo dirty with this album cover. Look at him. Look at this. He's so much shorter than the rest of them. John, Paul, and George, they're all roughly the same height, and then Ringo's down here. They really did him dirty with this cover by having him be right in the front. That is, actually, having him be right in the front makes perfect sense because of how short he is. But at least give him like a box or something to stand on, man. They did not need to do that to him. Song is very clean. It's nice. It's sweet enough. Would never return to it, but the week only has 7 days. Are they done? Exactly. 8.8 out of 10. For me, this song is a high 7. Like, just beneath an 8. The only reason it doesn't get an 8 is because I wouldn't really return to it. But yeah, it's sweet, it's fun, it's catchy, it's a very upbeat, silly type of track. I like it. Up next we have Words of Love. This one's a Buddy Holly cover.
Hold me close and tell me how you feel. Tell me love is real. Words of love you whisper soft and true.
Words of Love. Sweet enough track, but kind of forgettable. This song was very much in one ear out the other, but I don't really mind it that much. Super basic. What band is this? Never heard of them? I don't know. Just super underground. No one's heard of these guys. This one's a high 6. Ringo next song. Honey Don't.
Well, how come you say you will when you won't? Say you do, baby, when you don't. Well, honey, don't. Well, honey, don't. Well, I love you, baby, and you ought to know. I like the way that you wear your clothes. Honey, don't.
That exhaustion results in the group's most uneven album, but its best moments find them moving from Mersey beat to the sophisticated pop rock they developed in mid-career. That exhaustion results in the group's most uneven album. 10 out of 10. Huh? The lumpiest and least welcoming of their early albums. 93. Ickiest? That's the... Right. As enjoyable as everything here is, and as wonderful as the truly top tier stuff is, it is undeniable that Beatles for Sale is a rare minor work from the Beatles. You gave it an 89. That has to be like bias, right? There's no way it's not. Those don't read as genuine reviews when paired with the scores. Help is so far superior. That's what I've heard. I mean, for the Beatles, it probably won't be hard to surpass this. This is just so bland. Which years are the reviews from? The AllMusic review is 12 years ago. The Pitchfork review is 11 years ago. The Rolling Stone review is 9 years ago. The BPM review is 9 months ago. Paste only put up their score of this album 9 hours ago. I just realized I'm not listening on mono anymore, I'm listening on stereo, and it actually, surprisingly, the stereo mix for a 2009 remaster is okay. What are my thoughts on that song? Yeah, that was... Jesus Christ, this album, oh my god. It's not bad, you know? It isn't bad, it's just bland. It's so lifeless. Like what I said earlier about it feeling like a skeleton of the Beatles, I feel like is the most accurate way I could describe this. You can still tell it's a Beatles album. It just doesn't have any of the charm, doesn't have any of the interesting individual elements that they implement into their tracks to elevate them. Doesn't have any of that. It's just the most bare bones version of their sound possible, and I really am not clicking with it in the slightest. Flat 5. I go from that from Octopus's Garden. For real. Octopus's Garden is heat, but then, you know, you get that. Every Little Thing.
When I'm walking beside her, people tell me I'm lucky. And you know the things she does for me. Ooh, she does for me, yeah.
Nice chord progression.
You know the things she does,
It's okay.
she does.
But still, it just doesn't have anything that would make me want to come back to it or... That was one of the songs of all time. I literally cannot describe to you what even happened in that song. Straight up. This album is like drainingly boring. I don't want to spoil the party. What happened? Nothing happened. It's just that song sucked. Well, it didn't suck, it was just boring.
I don't wanna spoil the party, so I'll go.
We put 100 on this album. All music.
So I will disappear. If she turns up while I'm gone, please let me know. I wonder what went wrong. I waited far too long. I think I'll take a walk and look for her. I still love her.
Hard Day's Night was good.
I would hate my disappointment.
Yeah, we listened to that album just before this one. I thought it was good. I gave it a 7.
Nothing for me here. If she turns
It's a mixed bag,
up,
but
please let
the
me
positives
know.
do outweigh the negatives by like a decent margin. Probably the most solid collection from the earliest Beatles era. I agree, yeah.
I still
Yeah, that's fair, Chivo.
love her, though I've had a drink or two and I don't care. Went wrong.
Oh yeah, the fact that like there's only one album between this and Rubber Soul is crazy. Rubber Soul is Rubber Soul isn't even like in my top 3 Beatles albums, and it's like so far above this. Charming track, but not one I can really even say I liked necessarily. It's okay. It's fine. Help to Revolver in a year is just crazy. Oh yeah, Revolver is like their second best album. Revolver is so good. Revolver's incredible. Anyway, I don't want to spoil the pie. It's charming. It's kind of sweet, kind of cute, but I can't even necessarily say it was good. It was just better than the other songs up to this point. It's a high 6. You still love this album? All the early Beatles give that youthful, sunny, boyish vibe of the British rock and roll. I could see that, yeah. I get that. It's just for me, the sound of this has just gotten kind of stale. But if this album is your cup of tea, I can actually completely see it, yeah. Next up, What You Doing?
Look what you're doing. Should you need
I get that. I wasn't crazy on with the Beatles. That was the first of the 5 albums I listened to today.
stop your lying.
But yeah, the moments that worked on with the Beatles for me worked really well. It definitely does have its highlights. And then Hard Day's Night I just thought was a solid album overall. It's so very early 60s. Yeah. Yeah.
To me, what you
A proto Ticket to Ride.
to me.
I can kind of see that. What you're doing? As mediocre as these albums may be to the modern ear, they are quintessential music of their time. Yeah, it's just... I understand that at the time this was probably great, but I have to take into account how it's aged. And I don't think this album has aged well. I feel like it is a little too standard of the time, and it's gotten to a point where this album just sort of blends in entirely, you know? Especially compared to like how Abbey Road has aged perfectly, or how Rubber Soul has aged incredibly, and even like Sgt. Pepper's on the White Album and Rubber Soul as well. I listen to this and it's just like, it might have been great at the time, but looking at it through today's lens, which I kind of have to, there's nothing much here that impresses me. High 5 on that one. Alright, last track. Please at least finish strong. Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby. Please.
Took some honey from a tree. Dressed it up and they called it me. Everybody's trying to be my baby. Everybody's trying to be my baby. Everybody's trying to be my baby. Everybody's trying to be my.
It's a cover. This is a big moment for George.
Went out last night, I didn't say late. For home, had a 19 day. Everybody's trying to be
Yeah.
my baby now.
Even this song. Brain, the music will be good. We're in the middle of, well, we're at the end of a mid-album right now, but I have faith that the next two will be good. Traveling in the Shadows of John Lennon and Paul McCartney. That's true. But I feel like George Harrison is just as strong as the other two. Ringo is the only one that is not as strong a songwriter as the others. Ringo has Octopus's Garden, I'll give him that, but besides that, I feel like there's not much Ringo that appeals to me. Mid is incredible. Yeah, I got you. Nice little finish. That song was a slight step up because I feel like the Beatles is yeah. Oh, overplayed. I thought you said overrated. Overplayed, not as much nowadays. In the past, probably, yeah, but as I don't hear them as much like on the radio or anything. But overrated. There are lots of people who say the Beatles have a flawless discography. They don't. Please Please Me isn't great. This album isn't great. With the Beatles isn't great. They have a couple of duds in the track list of even some of their better albums as well. But they're great as a whole. As like an entire band, I think the Beatles are fantastic. Yeah, this song's a bit of a step up because it has a catchy chorus. I'll give it that. I feel like this song definitely does have its moments, but on the whole, it still just leaves me with a very empty feeling of, that was certainly a song, just not one I have any interest in coming back to. I feel like this song is a perfect descriptor of this album as a whole. It's a very fitting way to close. Low 6. Like, straight up like a 6.1 to a 6.2. Yeah, no band is straight up. Even like my favorite bands. Radiohead isn't flawless. Swans are not flawless, you know? Radiohead have Pablo Honey and the King of Limbs. Swans have Cop, you know? Has too many 12-bar blues rock numbers. Yeah. Too much of this album blends in. That's the album's biggest fault. Is it doesn't adventure enough. It doesn't do enough to provide anything unique. It sort of stays in the same wheelhouse, dancing around the same ideas. And for that reason, it gets brought down a decent bit. I'm gonna add up the scores, and then I'll tell you what the score for the album is as a whole. My favorite song on the album was I'll Follow the Sun. Sounds about right. I am feeling a 6.3 out of 10 on this album. How is Please Please Me got the same score, I think. Oh, no, it got a flat 6. Huh? I feel like I enjoyed the experience of listening to Please Please Me more than this. And that's why just seeing the score I give an album never really tells the full picture of my feelings on it. Like, this album got a higher score than Please Please Me, but I would say I enjoy Please Please Me a little more as a full package experience. So yeah, that's why you should never just skip to see the score that someone gives an album. It never tells the full story. The numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. The subjective numbers exactly. The mathematics. The maths is flawless, you know? Maybe I had a bad day that day and left it with a lower score, maybe. Maybe. I'm going to return to all the Beatles albums at some point anyway, just to, you know, properly like solidify my opinions. But yeah, I feel like returning. I feel like Please Please Me is probably gonna get a slightly higher score. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think of this album down below and how does it compare to other Beatles albums for you. Make sure you like and sub if you haven't. We're on our way to 2K. Links in the description to my Discord, my album of the year, my Twitter, and my other channels. And yeah, I'll see you all whenever I next stream or upload. Bye bye.